Good morning, distinguished guests, respected dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to this international conference on lifelong learning for a sustainable future, environment, economy, society. May I invite our guest, Padma Bhushan Sri Kalady Patel, Daaji, Dr. Muhammad bin Fahad, Professor Seema Sodhoma, Professor Prasad Krishnan, Sri K. Anand, Dr. M.S. Murali, Dr. Jacob George onto the stage.
To begin our program, let us immerse ourselves in the divine presence with the rendition of the Guru Ashtagam, a composition by Jagat Guru Sri Adi Shankaracharya that speaks about the glory of our Jagat Guru. It is customary in our institution to start every program with the recitation of the Guru Ashtagam. We request everyone to kindly be seated and join us in understanding the meaning of these verses and incorporating them into our daily lives. Now, let us join together in a prayer to seek blessings for a successful and enlightening event. I request our Chief Technical Officer, Sri P.V. Rajaraman, to recite the prayer.
ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां भारतीकरुणापात्रं भारतीपदभूषणं भारतीपदमारूढं भारती तीर्थमाश्रये विद्या विनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विदुषेखरभारतीं गुरुनाथन् துணச்செய்க திருநாமங்கள் நாவின் மேலப்பொழும் பிரியாதே இருக்கணும் நம்முடே நரஜன்மம் சபலமாக்கிடுவன் கிருஷ்ண கிருஷ்ணா முகுந்தா ஜனார்தனா கிருஷ்ண கோவிந்த நாராயண ஹரே அச்சுதானந்த கோவிந்த மாதவா சச்சிதானந்த நாராயண ஹரே சச்சிதானந்த நாராயண ஹரே.
Thank you, sir. To symbolize the triumph of knowledge or ignorance, we will now proceed with the lighting of the lamp. May I invite our guests, Padma Bhushan Sri Kamleshji Patel, Dr. Mohammad Ibn Fahad, Professor Seema Sotoma, Professor Prasad Krishna, Sri K. Anand, Dr. M.S. Murali, Dr. Jacob George to come forward and light the lamp.
It's my pleasure to invite Dr. Jacob George, Senior Associate Director, ASIAT, and Coordinator of the conference, to share the opening perspectives with us. Please welcome Dr. Jacob George to stage.
I am here to introduce the binding rationale for the conference. Our attempt is to bridge wisdom and innovation across continents. Honorable dignitaries, esteemed faculties, researchers, and scholars, good morning to all. It's an honor to address this august gathering of distinguished scholars, leaders, and visionaries. Today, we stand at the intersection of knowledge, culture, and innovation, united by a shared commitment to lifelong learning, environmental stewardship, and holistic well-being. As we open this conference, let us draw inspiration from the philosophies that drive the ASM Lifelong Learning Hub in Ireland, the Said International Foundation for Environment in Dubai, UAE, the Adi Shankara Group of Institutions in Kalady, and the teachings of Sri Kamlesh Patel, fondly known as Daaji, the global head of Heartfulness and the sustaining force behind the training program named Brighter Minds. The Assam Lifelong Learning Hub, based in Ireland, epitomizes the essence of lifelong learning. It fosters international collaboration, bringing together researchers, educators, and policymakers from Asia and Europe. This hub underscores the importance of continuous education, recognizing that learning is not confined to classrooms, but is a lifelong journey. It emphasizes the need to adapt to changing environments and the pursuit of knowledge that evolves with time. By promoting inclusivity and access to education for all, Assam Lifelong Learning Hub ensures that every individual has the opportunity to thrive and contribute to society. In Dubai, the Said International Foundation for Environment champions environmental sustainability and conservation. Under the visionary leadership of Dr. Mohammed A. bin Fahad, the foundation has become a beacon of hope in the global fight against climate change. It recognizes that our planet's well-being is intricately linked to our own and that sustainable development is essential for future generations. The Foundation's initiatives, such as the Said International Prize for the Environment, highlight the power of collective action and the need for innovative solutions to protect our natural resources. At the Adi Shankara Group of Institutions in Kalady, Kerala, education is seen as a holistic experience that nurtures the mind, body, and soul. Founded on the principles of the great philosopher Acharya Adi Shankara, the institutions strive to provide students with a well-rounded education that fosters intellectual growth, ethical values, and spiritual awareness. The managing trustee, Sri A.K. Anand, has been instrumental in guiding the institutions to achieve excellence while maintaining a deep connection to cultural and spiritual roots. This approach ensures that students are not only equipped with academic knowledge, but also with the wisdom to navigate life's complexities. Finally, and most importantly, let us turn to the teachings of Sri Kamlesh Patel, fondly addressed as Daaji, the global head of Heartfulness. Daaji's philosophy emphasizes the importance of inner transformation and self-realization. Through heartfulness meditation practices, individuals can achieve inner calm, clarity of thought, and emotional balance. Daaji's vision extends to the Brighter Minds initiative, which aims to enhance cognitive abilities and emotional intelligence in young minds. By integrating scientific methods with spiritual practices, Daaji's teachings offer a pathway to holistic well-being and personal growth. As we embark on this conference, let us embrace the philosophies that unite us, from the continuous pursuit of knowledge and environmental stewardship to holistic education and inner transformation. These principles form the foundation of a better, more sustainable future. Together, we can bridge the wisdom of ancient traditions with the innovations of modern science, creating a world where every individual can thrive and contribute to the greater good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to invite Sri K. Anand, the Managing Trustee of Adi Shankara Trust, to deliver the welcome address. Shri K. Anand is the Managing Trustee of Adi Shankara Trust, which oversees the Adi Shankara Institute of Engineering and Technology and other educational institutions in Kalady, Kerala. Under his leadership, the Trust has been dedicated to promoting excellence in education and fostering holistic development among students. Shri K. Anand has been instrumental in guiding the institution to achieve high standards in technical education and ensuring that the vision, mission, and objectives of the college are realized. Please give a warm round of applause for Shri K. Anand.
Padma Bhushan awardee Sri Daaji, Global Head of Heartfulness, His Excellency Dr. Muhammad bin Fahad, Chairman of Zayed International Foundation, Professor Seamus Toma, Chair of ASEM Lifelong Learning, dignitaries on the dais, all dignitaries in the audience, my dear brothers and sisters. In our tradition, Indian tradition, there is a quotation in Taittiriya Upanishad. Matrudevo bhava, Pitrudevo bhava, Acharya devo bhava, Aditi devo bhava. You are all our guests today, and we treat you as the God Himself, the incarnation of the God. God has given us an opportunity to host you, and that is one of the greatest blessings that we have today. And that gives me real happiness from the bottom of my heart to be here with you on this occasion. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita. This is just stray thoughts that is coming to my mind. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita in 2nd chapter, verse number 54. A question is asked by Arjuna to Krishna. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthidadi kim prabhashyeda kimasida vrajeda kim. Just meaning is, what are the qualities of a man of steadfast wisdom? How he sits, how he walks. And the answer is given by Krishna from verse 55 to 72. I'm not detailing on that, but those answers squarely applies to all dignitaries here and all the members and guests who are present here. This is the uniqueness of this conference, because normally there will be some dignitaries and there will be some audience here. Here all are dignitaries. I feel all of you are dignitaries, part of Sanatana Dharma, and the ultimate aim of all of us is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And for this, we want to achieve this, and it is towards that we strive by convening conferences, by doing various activities, because ultimately the entire world should be a Ramarajya. That is what we want to achieve. With this, I am not detailing much because even the welcome may take some 2-3 minutes. So I am concluding my introductory remarks. And we have with us a great personality, Padma Bhushan awardee Sri Daaji, Global Head of Heartfulness, whose teachings and initiatives have inspired millions to achieve inner peace, clarity of thought, and holistic well-being. I wonder how many people might have transformed by following his teachings and under his guidance. That makes a total positive vibes in everybody's mind. And here, even in this audience, in this atmosphere today, because of your presence and because of Daji's presence, of course, the entire atmosphere has a positive vibe and we are really experiencing it. It is with great pleasure, sir, I invite you to this inauguration of this international conference. We have His Excellency, Dr. Muhammad A. bin Fahad, Chairman of Syed International Foundation for Environment, whose visionary leadership in environmental sustainability and conservation has made a significant global impact. I welcome you, sir, to this conference. We have Professor Seamus Otoma, Chair of ASM Lifelong Learning, Ireland, whose dedication to promoting lifelong learning and international collaboration is an inspiration to all of us. I welcome you, sir. Professor Prasad Krishna, Director of National Institute of Technology, NIT Calicut, and IIIT Kottayam, whose contribution to the technical education and research have been instrumental in shaping the future of engineering and technology. Yesterday, while I was talking to him, it was he who informed me that there is a separate mark for accreditation process in engineering college. Criteria 12 relates to lifelong learning, and that is what is exactly we are doing here. Though most of the people may not know what lifelong learning is, but certainly it has a great meaning that if we implement it, it will be good for the welfare of the entire mankind. So I, with great pleasure, invite Professor Prasad Krishna to this function, sir. Thank you. We have in this conference many dignitaries, Professor Soren Ellis, Reinhard, Dr. Rosanna Barros, Arne Carlson, Professor Sabine, Dr. Lindsay, Dr. Jan Schiller, Professor Jonas Linder, Dr. Varsha, Yogacharya Rajendra Yankanamule, Dr. Shalini Singh, and many other dignitaries. It is with great happiness that I invite them all to this function. We have with us our principal, Dr. M.S. Murali, and his guidance leads us in the right path. I welcome you, sir, to this meeting. We have Dr. Jacob George, who is instrumental in arranging this entire international conference. It is with great pleasure that I welcome Dr. Jacob George. I welcome all other dignitaries. My friends are also here, invited guest, Dr. Sri George from Zayed, International Foundation, and Nishant and Mr. Mohan, Anil Kumar. Many people are here. I welcome each and every one of you because today is it's a totally different audience. Like every one of you is a dignitary today. That is how we see you. That is how we want to treat you. And my request is that while welcoming all of you, it is my request that please participate as far as possible in this conference, and we will try to implement whatever comes out of this conference. And ultimately, if we can succeed in 1% in making this world, a Ramarajya, that will be a great success. And ultimately, that is what is going to come with us when we leave from this world. I thank you all for your gracious presence, and I welcome you and hope that you will have a nice time here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We are honored to have Professor Seema Sotoma, Chair of the ASEM Education and Research Hub for Lifelong Learning, with us today. Professor Otoma is a distinguished academic and advocate for lifelong learning. He serves as the Director of Adult Continuing Education and a Senior Lecturer in Politics at University College Cork, Ireland. As Chair of the ASEM Hub, he has been pivotal in fostering international cooperation between Asia and Europe in lifelong learning research, promoting inclusive and sustainable education accessible to all. In addition to his role at ASEM, he is a member of the UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning Advisory Group and has contributed to numerous global research initiatives on lifelong learning. His work has made him a respected figure in the academic community. Professor Otoma will deliver the keynote speech. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
Good morning. The previous speaker, I think, said some things that were really important. And one of the most important things he said was about each one of you as participants here today at this event. Each person is important, each person is unique, each person is special. So whatever this conference brings, it brings it to you. You're not just sitting here as a member of the audience, you're sitting here as an individual. You're sitting here as somebody who can change the world, not just for yourself, but for other people around you. And I think it's a very good place for us to start. And I really like that philosophy. It's a really important philosophy in lifelong learning. It's also important to begin with to say that I come from Ireland, I come from Europe. There is nothing that we know or that we can say that you don't already know. India has been involved in lifelong learning through the ages. You have very ancient civilizations. So there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to bring news to you or something new or different, because you were already doing it. You were already lifelong learners. It's important that we acknowledge that we acknowledge that we're all lifelong learners. Every time I come to India and every time I attend an event, I learn something new, because India has a very complex, deep and rich culture, and I'm always learning. So this morning I learned that if you're on the platform and you're asked to come and light the lamp, you should not have shoes with laces. Very small lesson, but important lesson. The next time I won't have shoes with laces, because everybody else was up and ready to go, and I was still struggling with my laces. Now, you say, how important is that? It is important. It is important to know how to participate in society, how to be part of the world you're in. So everything we learn is important learning. Outside, before I came in, I saw the signs to turn off my phone, but I left my phone on because I wanted to look at one photograph that I took outside, and I didn't want to get it wrong. There's a vision and mission statement out here for the Adi SHANKARA, and I'm sorry I'm saying it wrong, but when you come into an organization, when you come to a place and you see a mission or you see a statement, it's important. It's important that people make a statement about what they are, what they're about, and what they're trying to achieve. And sometimes people dismiss that. They say you need to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. But it is important. And the things that I picked out were things like imparting quality education, focusing on empowerment and innovation. Empowerment is about each one of us getting an opportunity to impact the world, to do things, to feel confident that we can do things. And if nothing else, if you leave this conference with the sense of empowerment, the sense that you are an agent of change, that you can change the world, I think that would be a huge achievement. And innovation is obviously about doing new things. It's about thinking of the world in different and new ways. And if we look at the world we're in today, we urgently, urgently, urgently need to be innovative. We urgently need to see the world in new ways. We need to solve our problems in new ways. Part of the mission statement is total upliftment of the society. So it's about society, it's about changing the world. It asks people to become socially committed and responsible citizens. As a mission for lifelong learning, there's very little I can add to that because I think you already know. But one thing I would say is that lifelong learning is not a new idea. I know that the term is new, but human beings, right from the beginning, have always been lifelong learners. We are all lifelong learners. We are all constantly learning. Even if we don't want to learn, we're learning. So I don't want us to leave here with some kind of mysterious idea of what lifelong learning is. It's what we do every single day, every single one of us. So I had a plan here to talk about what the ASEM mission is, and I know I'm probably gone over time already. Point it somewhere. Yeah, look, this is just the mission that we set out first day. But you can see that there's actually nothing new or extraordinary there. It's about trying to be impactful in the world. And I suppose the critical thing for me is this idea that it's an essential paradigm in the contemporary era. This is really important now because we really have to learn together. And in the ASEM project, it's not about, and I'm very conscious that I am the worst form of human being. I am a white, old man. These are the people who've caused most trouble in the world. So I apologize for that. So I would say lifelong learning isn't about European ideas coming to Asia. It's not about grand plans coming from other places. It's about us sharing. It's about us learning from India. It's about you teaching us what you do. So together, collectively, we can create a more dynamic lifelong learning ecosystem. That's really, really, really important. But it's important, and I say this coming from a country that suffered for a long time about an inferiority complex. It's important that you are confident in yourselves, that you speak up for yourselves, that you are clear, that you have a contribution to make to the world, that you're not expecting people from outside to tell you what to do. India is a really important cultural driver on planet Earth. You are the biggest country in the world. Be confident of that. Be confident of what you can contribute to the world, to what you can, how you can shape the world. You don't need me to be telling you. You know already these things yourselves. These were the kind of key ideas that we talked about in terms of challenges in an unpredictable world, and we can see this. Skills, constantly changing, you know, emergence of new technologies and so on and so forth, demand new things from us. Careers keep changing. There was a time when you started a job and you stayed in the job for your whole life. Now people change careers all of the time, many, many, many times. And this is becoming increasingly the case for young people. Where you live, people are living in different places, all over the place, all over the world. Where they work, how they work. These things are all changing. How we learn. And again, this is important, that we realize we learn in every context, but there are so many different places we learn now. We think about education. Education is a tiny part of the learning process. We learn far more things outside of education than in education. We're learning things online, we're learning things from each other, we're learning things everywhere. So it's keeping our minds open to that. We have these major global challenges. Climate, which sometimes people tend to forget a little bit about. Climate is a massive challenge. We can only solve it collectively. We can only solve it by each one of us contributing to that, and even understanding it, and understanding what the challenges are. Migration, more and more people are moving around the world. There are lots of challenges there in terms of how we live together, how we, coexist. Security, I don't need to emphasize that too much. We can see all the wars and disputes that are in the world. I saw just, I think yesterday or the day before, this man from Japan who survived the atomic bomb, died, but he spent his life advocating for peace. He was a victim of a, really horrific event in a war, but he dedicated his life to peace. So security is important. And technology is constantly changing. Artificial intelligence is the one today that we're talking about, changing the world. You think back a few years ago, it was nanotechnology, and there's all different kinds of technologies that are changing our world. So these are all important. And just a final point, and I've made this one already, I think. Lifelong learning is really lifelong. Sometimes people think that maybe it's just for young people. We're learning throughout our lives, constantly learning. When I was introduced here, somebody came and brought me a rose. And somebody else gave me a rose a bit earlier. And roses are very important for me as a flower because they remind me of my mother. My mother grew roses in her garden. She was a real lover of roses. So every time I see a rose, it reminds me of my mother. In the latter stages of my mother's life, when she was in her late 80s, she had dementia, actually in her early 90s, and she went to live in a nursing home. And I went to visit her one day, and there was a painting, a little watercolor painting beside her bed. And I said, wow. I said, that's very nice. Where did this come from? She painted it. She had never painted any time in her life. And she learned to do watercolors with dementia. So we need to keep our minds open to learning. I have that picture in my house now. It's a beautiful picture. So we constantly learn throughout our lives. So it's not just for young people, it's for everybody. So that's a really important part of our mission as well. So we need to promote lifelong learning. That means that we acknowledge ourselves as learners, we acknowledge other people as learners, but we also need to facilitate lifelong learning. That means we create opportunities for people to learn, and that is everybody. Everybody, in every context. I'm sure I have gone well past my time limit by now, so I'm going to stop. But thank you very much for inviting me. It's an honor for me to be here with you. I know I'm going to learn a lot over the coming days. We are all going to learn a lot, and I think it's a very exciting opportunity for us to learn together, work together, talk together, and as the previous speaker said, you know, it's about creating a better future for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Next, we have another distinguished guest of honor, Professor Prasad Krishna, Director of NIT Calicut and IIIT Kottayam. Professor Krishna has over 37 years of experience in sectors like automobile manufacturing, precision machine tools, space research, and teaching in engineering. He has worked with organizations such as TVS Sundaram Clayton, DRDO, ISRO HMT Limited, and NIT Calicut. Professor Krishna has contributed significantly to quality assurance in technical education and presented at international forums. He has also held leadership roles, including Dean of Alumni Affairs, and served on several national boards. Professor Krishna is also a heartfulness meditation trainer promoting spiritual practice under the Sahaj Ma system. We are honored to have you with us, Professor Krishna. We request you to kindly join us on stage for an address.
My beloved master, Padma Bhushan awardee, and the global head of Heartfulness, Sri Kamalesh D. Patel ji, the managing trustee, senior advocate K. Anand ji, the chair of the ASM, Professor Seamus Twama, the principal of the Adi Shankara Institute of Engineering and Technology, Professor M.S. Murali, the coordinators of this conference on sustainable development, Dr. Jacob George and Dr. Shalini Singh, all the delegates, resource persons, keynote speakers, my fellow brothers and sisters, the practitioners of heartfulness, faculty, staff, research scholars, and students of this prestigious Adi Shankara Institute of Engineering and Technology, other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, pranams to all. We are professors. We have unfortunately a bad habit of keep on speaking. So already Jacob has told me I should not speak more than 5 minutes. We are used to that because we are professors. Let me just try to connect the theme of this conference. If we look at the word education, it comes from the Latin root educare, which means to draw out. That is where our ancient wisdom says education is for ennoblement, and Swami Vivekananda put it very nicely. Education is to draw out the potential which is already within. It is a process of manifesting the divinity or the perfection which is already within, which assures that there is already a potential which can go to the infinite limit. And if we look at what we are doing, unfortunately, in a typical curriculum, whether it is 3-4 years, whatever may be, we give focus on the education which is never, even the Greek philosophers, Aristotle says, education can never be complete without the education of the heart. And if you look at in 2012, the pillars of learning, what UNESCO has formulated, there are 4 important pillars all of us in education know. The first one is learning to know. Second one is learning to do. The third one is learning to live together. And the last one I like the most is learning to be. And they've added one more pillar, which is learning to transform oneself and transform others. That is where the spiritual movement like heartfulness is very important. Can we, with the kind of responsibilities as a grihastha, can we tap into the infinite resources of our heart and become learning to be, become what we are supposed to become? It is none other than this great philosopher who was born in this place, Kalady, the Jagat Guru Adi Shankara, who has told, how do we learn? We learn by Sravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. Today, in our engineering and science, we talk about the Bloom's taxonomy, the Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy, where the different levels of learning, from mere remembering, understanding to analysis, synthesis, design and creation. But it is none other than Adi Shankara who told that it is not just if I hear, I forget. If I see, I remember. If I do, I learn. The entire foundation of spiritual education is always I explore, I observe, I experiment with my own self, then I get experience, and then only the education parts comes. Unfortunately, in our academies, we have put it in the other way. We give a prescribed curriculum, prescribed textbook, and then we do. That is why it seldom fails. We are here, we think that the learning stops with this, in the academies. And we think this is only to get a job. Every institution is, in the newspaper they give how many placement, how many of our students got placement. So this is a very unfortunate development. I know when I studied in University of Michigan, there is no placement fairs in University of Michigan, in any of the US universities. I'm very happy about that. Here, every institution is fighting, competing each other to say that so many have been placed. Does that mean we learn only to get these jobs? It is never in the ancient wisdom of this great country. It is learning anadi anandam. It is an infinite. How can we? Because we have not understood this infinite, the whole universe, the abundant resources that is hidden in our heart, we are yet to explore. So how can one say, I have got this just by getting some degree, some PhD or some publication or patent? We think that I am the learner. It is never so. Even in the Gurukula Sampradaya of Indian tradition, even if a guru is a good guru, he will tell the Shishya, Bete, I can only tell you this much. If you want to learn more, please go to another guru, and he will direct that Shishya to that guru. That is the tradition. Unfortunately, we are all into this mess we have created, and we think we are only creating this kind of, for the industry. It was because of the Industrial Revolution this problem came. In those days, there was dire need of technically competent manpower to satisfy the needs of the industry. Perhaps that was the reason all these institutions were just catering to the need of the industry. But that is not. Education is for life. And what is life for? Life is for evolution. And what is the evolution for? That evolution is for in the development of wisdom and the right attitude. How that wisdom will come? Today, we don't need, somebody asked, do we need teachers like us? When the entire information is abundantly available in this worldwide net. But please remember, it is just information. Until and unless we transform the information into knowledge, and knowledge into intuition, and then into wisdom, and then there are further wisdom to then I wonder, I get the wonder of the entire creation. I get connected with the Creator and the creations, and then I become a witness to the entire what is happening. So that is the transformative process which is assured in any spiritual process. I'm very happy. When I was studying in United States, I got introduced to heartfulness, and although it was very late, I started, but now we have understood what we don't know. As Professor Thomas just mentioned, that is the wisdom, and this is the journey continues. It is an anantam, is an infinite journey, and thanks to heartfulness, we can now tap into the infinite resources which is there in our heart. That is the real learning. Until and unless I contemplate, I introspect, and I reflect on what I have learned, whether in the school, or in the society, with my parents or friends, it has not become my knowledge. It becomes knowledge by some other authors. Until and unless I meditate on that, every cell of my imbibe that, enliven and imbibe, and become one with that knowledge. Our ancient wisdom says the knowledge is of no use. Thank you all. I am grateful to Jacob George, the entire trustees of Adi Shankara, for giving me an opportunity to be part of this. I also want to tell you, it has become a fashion in the world. Every day, we are also organizing conferences on decarbonization, CO2 reduction, sustainability. It looks that suddenly human beings are concerned about the future. The moment we say the word sustainability, we are concerned about now and into the future. This is very, very unfortunate. It is all the human greed. Even a small state, lush green state is facing flash flood, heat wave, landslides, whatnot. So it is probably, nature is not an enemy. It is wrong to say nature punishes. Nature is only responding to the stimuli, the greed of this human being, where entire thing, nature is a perfect conservative ecosystem, and we indulge and then interfere, and then the entire equilibrium is upset. So in that balance, there is wisdom, and that is where these kind of small samples the Creator is giving, like corona, another new mutations will come. Learn, don't be so arrogant on this technological and scientific advancement. Please have compassion towards every created beings on this planet. Once again, I thank you all, and Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. It's now my privilege to introduce our esteemed guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed A. bin Fahad, Chairman of the Said Foundation, Dubai. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed A. bin Fahad, Chairman of the Said Foundation for the Environment in Dubai, UAE, is a leading advocate for environmental sustainability. Under his leadership, the foundation has driven awareness and action on climate change and conservation, including launching the prestigious Said International Prize for the Environment to recognize contributions to sustainability. He has also collaborated with international organizations like the UNEP to develop educational programs focused on green economy and sustainable development. In addition to his environmental work, Dr. bin Fahad serves as the Assistant Commander for Academic Affairs and Training at Dubai Police, where he has been pivotal in enhancing the Police Academy's training and academic programs. We are grateful, sir, for your presence. Now, I request Dr. Asa Abdulatif, CTA, Said International Foundation for Environment, Dubai, to deliver an address on behalf of His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed A. bin Fahad. Ma'am, please.
Heartful greeting. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of our chairman, the Professor Muhammad Ahmad bin Fahad, the chairman of the Said International Foundation for the Environment, I would like to deliver this speech. Excellencies, honorable guests, Mr. K. Anand, trustee of Adi Shankara Group, Honorable Daaji, President of Shri Ram Chandra, students and youth, the guardians of the planet Earth, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to address both the present and the future in this green gathering. Thanks to Adi Shankara for the invitation and for the initiative of linking lifelong learning with sustainability, which aligns with our mission of lifelong activeness. Many people believe that retirement at age 60 should mark the end of their active lives, when they are at the peak of their professional and social experience. When one becomes inactive, feelings of worthlessness often arise, accompanied by concerns about declining health. We believe Todd Henry was right when he said, "Die empty," because we accumulate a wealth of knowledge and experience, and it is both our duty and ethical obligation to pass it on to the next generation. Sharing this knowledge keeps us engaged and brings a sense of fulfillment, particularly when contributing to the community of younger generations. This also helps maintain our mental and psychological well-being. The late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, founding father of the United Arab Emirates, was a prime example of a wise leader who not only focused on empowering youth and caring for the environment in the UAE, but also worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zayed International Foundation for the Environment was founded in 1999 by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, to honor and embrace the legacy of the late Sheikh Zayed, the founding father of the UAE. It recognizes and promotes global environmental achievements and practices that support sustainable development worldwide. Moving forward, the Foundation is expanding its initiatives to support the effective implementation of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and beyond. Our next mission is building lifelong employability and borderless communities for sustainable living, using global professional volunteering and focusing on younger generations. We invite all stakeholders in government, UN, education, business, and civil society to join us in achieving sustainable living. But we should carefully examine the impact of new trends like the artificial intelligence on both the natural and the social environment. How can we avoid the wrong information fed to the artificial intelligence applications? And how can we generate new jobs for the future generations to compensate the jobs lost by the artificial intelligence? The Zayed International Foundation for the Environment is also introducing an initiative which is very much related to the heartfulness and the internal energy and knowledge that we need to use. The new initiative is called the Human Wear, which means we should focus more on human beings when we want mechanisms to solve our environmental and social problems, which means we should focus more on education and awareness raising to use the human being itself to develop the communities and societies. We look forward to further collaboration with Adi Shankara Group and other similar entities in India. Together, we can change the path of humanity towards a more sustainable world and safe, healthy planet. Thank you all again, and have a wonderful conference.
Thank you, sir. Now, it is my great honor to introduce our chief guest, Padma Bhushan awardee, Daaji, Sri Kamalesh Patel, Global Head of Heartfulness. Padma Bhushan awardee Sri Kamalesh Patel is a renowned spiritual leader, author, and the fourth Raja Yoga master in the Sahat Marg system. As president of the Sri Ramchandra Mission, he has expanded its global reach, making meditation accessible to millions. Daaji also founded the Heartfulness Institute, which provides value-based development programs in over 5,000 educational institutions. In 2023, he received the Padma Bhushan, India's third highest civilian award, in recognition of his service. Daaji has authored best-selling books including The Heartfulness Way, Designing Destiny, and The Wisdom Bridge. His Green Kanha project transformed 1,400 acres of land into a green oasis, promoting sustainability. Through his workshops, he has guided many individuals towards self-realization and improved well-being. Now, we present a video about our chief guest, Daaji.
Kamalesh Patel, affectionately known as Daaji, Heartfulness Guide, is leading a worldwide movement to make free meditation training available to all. With the help of 16,000 volunteer trainers and over 10 million practitioners in 160 countries, Daaji has transformed many lives. In his books and talks, he shares deep insights into successfully integrating one's spiritual and material life. Daaji is also guiding volunteers to conduct research and innovation in the fields of ecology, agriculture, medicine, education, well-being, and the arts. Among the many initiatives he has pioneered are the creation of a model community and one of the world's largest meditation spaces at Kanha Shanti Vanam near Hyderabad, India. An initiative to plant 30 million native and endemic trees across India by the year 2025. A free app to provide meditation training with a trainer 24/7. Training for grassroots social workers in the best practices in the fields of agriculture, health, wellness, and education. Spreading awareness about yoga and Ayurveda and their health benefits. In recognition of his contribution to society, the Government of India awarded Daaji the Padma Bhushan, one of India's highest civilian honours. Daaji has also been a strong advocate for interfaith harmony and unity, and the coming together of all religions and spiritual traditions. Under his guidance in 2024, Heartfulness and the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, organized the Global Spirituality Mahotsav, bringing together over 500 spiritual leaders and over 100,000 participants from across the globe. It was a landmark event where everyone came together to promote world peace through inner peace. Under Daaji's guidance, Heartfulness is collaborating with the local governments in 36 forestation projects across 8 states in India, covering 10,000 acres of degraded land. Heartfulness volunteers have conducted value-based education workshops and cognitive development training for over 250,000 students worldwide. Daaji's contribution to the welfare of humanity has also been recognized by the Commonwealth.
As Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations, I am proud and honored to bestow on you the title of Global Ambassador for Peace Building and Faith in the Commonwealth.
भाई कमलेश जी, जो हम सब पूज्यनीय दाजी के रूप में ही जानते हैं, जो काम मानवता के लिए किया है वो वाकई अद्भुत है।
Thank you for your attention. We are excited to announce the release of his new book, The Power of Paradox by Penguin Random House. About the book, paradox arises from the logical tension between seemingly valid statements or ideas that cannot both be true at the same time. Exploring the similarities and differences helps us fine-tune our understanding of reality and open space for new possibilities. In the heartfulness way of living, Viveka and Vairagya are two techniques that provide the bedrock for a good life. This book is an exploration of 27 everyday paradoxes combined with spiritual and scientific inquiry. Helmed with the Heartfulness way of living, a modern form of yoga designed to promote contentment, inner calm, compassion, courage, and clarity of thought. These practices will help one clear the mind and unburden emotions of the heart. We are deeply grateful for your presence and eagerly look forward to your insightful words. Please welcome Daaji to the podium.
Good morning and my heartfelt pranams to one and all, and my special greetings to His Excellency Dr. Muhammad bin Fahad, Dr. Simas Otuama, Chairman of SM, Shri K. Anandji, our Managing Trustee, Brother Dr. Krishna, Jacob George, who is the Principal Secretary of these universities, all sisters and brothers present here. It's a great moment especially for myself, to be present in this spiritually charged area where the great Guru, Jagat Guru, Adi Shankara was born. He spread his spiritual vibrations all throughout the world. Early in the morning, we were having a good discussion with Sri Ram Raoji, who is our artificial intelligence initiator here at this university. He was talking about artificial intelligence also has some level of ego because it ends up giving you the answer even though it is wrong, behaving much like human beings. So he says we have to be careful with the AI. He was also sharing a beautiful story of how this AI is being trained. So when you ask a question, what should I do? I am an alcoholic. Okay. What kinds of answer do you expect? It might say, stop buying alcohol. Second, attach yourself with some higher goals. Third, forget about these sensory pleasures. All these usual things our gurus and teachers teach us. The similar thing will be also be guided, be instructed, suggested by AI. Even when great personalities like Prophet Muhammad, Lord Christ, Lord Krishna, you name them all, the great Kabir. Everyone says great things. Their prescriptions are also very simple. Be love. Earlier they were talking of Sthita Pragya. Sri Anandji was talking on Sthita Pragya state from chapter 2 and some of the finest qualities attributed by Sthita Pragya individuals. Like AI, it can give you answers. Gita, Quran, Bible, all these holy books, they give you answers. None of them give you solutions. I repeat again, no holy scriptures gives us the solutions. They give you instructions, they give you suggestions. For example, when Krishna says, be like Sthita Pragya, meaning arrive at a spiritual state which is akin to, he gives an example of a lotus leaf remaining unaffected by its surrounding. Means, someone insults you, you should not react. Someone pleases you and gives you a nice, beautiful kiss on your right cheek, you should not say anything in romance. It becomes a dull life then, see. Kabir also says, what is the ultimate spiritual state? He says, I can only describe by giving you examples. He says, the ultimate state is like raindrops falling in the ocean and becoming the ocean. Buddha talks of nirvana, that the ultimate state is nirvana. Various educational institution also says, do this, and this, but ultimately we have to do it ourselves. What to be done to arrive at such lofty states? The biggest carrot Jesus has given, or the Prophet has given, is the allurement of the heavens. You do this, and this, and you will enter the heaven. Where is the heaven? You can enter something where there are gates. Are there gates in the heaven? If there are gates in the heaven, then there has to be walls. And if there are walls, there is finiteness, limitations. Tradition says, where there is God, there is heaven. Logically speaking, try to find out where there is no God. So there is no place without God, then in that sense you can say everything is heavenly. It's a matter of your own attitude. No one can teach us every lessons in our life. Life is full of surprises. If I tell you something that under these circumstances, behave like this or do this, but the same circumstance may not repeat ever again in your life, because life throws all kinds of curveballs bouncers. Those who play cricket, they understand bouncer balls and spin balls. And so life is full of such bouncers and spin balls, surprises. No one can prepare us how to respond under surprises. Sustainable existence has to have sustainable, continuous learning. And this learning can happen only when you are interested and you have the ability to observe, have interest in yourself. Without this ability to observe and having some level of interest, we cannot embark on the path of evolution. All scripture says, and why even take the support of the scriptures? Think of yourself. Can you ever be happy when you are restless and full of worries? Though you may have everything, you cannot. So how to get rid of this restlessness, disturbed mind, worries, anxieties? You have to have some peace. In order to arrive at a state of peaceful mind and heart, you have to have harmony within. Have you experienced harmony? How to recreate it? This is all about yoga. So, on an instant, you should be able to dive into that harmonious, peaceful, tranquil state and get the answers from within. And that's what dhyana is all about. Dhyana, loosely translated in English in Oxford Dictionary, it translated as thinking repeatedly on one subject. But actual dhyana, meaning meditation, is about transcending the mind itself. So it's contradictory definition in English. How do you transcend the mind itself? Use the mind. Sanskrit word dhyan, if you split it, we have Rajaram here, who is a Sanskrit expert also, besides being an AI expert. He can tell you that dhyan, you split this word, one is di, another is yan. Di in Sanskrit means ultimate wisdom. You will find this word twice repeated in Gayatri Mantra also. Dhimahi Diyo Yonaha Prachodayat. Praying to the deity that thou art the source of Dhi, the ultimate wisdom. Yan means vehicle that takes us to that ultimate wisdom. So, dhyan is, meditation is a vehicle that transports us to the ultimate wisdom. Now think over for a moment, even if I give you this vehicle, a process, and say you meditate like this, probably you will fail, though the process is given to you. It is not like doing namaskaram or namaz. It is interesting when we say namaskaram and namaz, they have the same root word. Nama means to bow down, bow before the Lord. Coming back to this aspect of how to propel this vehicle It needs energy. You can try this, you can experiment this. In Urdu, they call this process as muraqabah. Chinese calls it as Zen, meditation. Now it is a style to call it mindful meditation, where you become more and more and more and more aware, while the actual dhyana, actual meditation is all about transcending the mind, go beyond your awareness. So there is a drastic difference between actual meditation and what is being offered today in the yoga market. You meditate with the process as prescribed, and you meditate with the energy that is being infused during the meditation. You compare the results yourself. You don't wait for your death to experience the heavens. And who knows whether heavens are there or not? No one comes back from after death and say, yes, I was in heaven or I was in hell. If it is not experienceable here and now, then it is futile. Imagine, this trustee, our Sri Anandji, offers you and grants you salary in your next birth to all the faculty here. You will say, you are cruel, you are not giving us salary. Imagine this existence itself. If we are not going to experience that state of liberation, state of heavenly feeling within, forget about the future. These are carrots given by these saints and sages. They also scare you that if you don't do this, you will be damned into an inferno. So all religions, they use these two very successful instruments throughout the centuries after centuries after centuries. And these two instruments are deadly. And everyone gets into it. One is heaven, another is hell. Dhyana or meditation is all about here and now. It is the heart that guides us under every moment. Under all surprising moments. One of the most surprising moments in everyone's life is marriage. Whom to marry? It's a very, very big question in everyone's life. And everyone thinks they have made a wrong choice after some time. They think like that, see. Very rarely a person would come up and say, oh, I made the right choice. How to make the right choice? Such episodes don't repeat in our lives. Once is enough. So you have to be very, very careful, and only your heart can guide you. Why heart? Think of every decisions that we have made so far. When you go with the heart, that project will be successful. When you go against the heart and still fulfill the project, even if it is successful, you will feel sorry at the end of it. So I encourage you, take a green light first from your heart and then proceed. I would like to share a little video so that you understand how the surprises comes in life like a riddle, and how heart very softly, very gently tells us how to sail through these problems. So may I request you to start a video, please? Okay.
This woman is about to learn a valuable lesson. But it isn't the lesson you might expect. In a small village there was a most famous thief. Alexander the Sly lived with his daughter, free of wanting or grief. But unbeknownst to anyone, there was a dream this daughter was weaving. Sonia wanted to learn her father's trade, the ancient art of thieving.
What is it about my damp and dusty workshop that intrigues you, sir? I'll buy your fancy dresses, a piano, painter's easel, none of this Aussie interest of my daughter.
Oh, please, Father. I'd rather learn how to acquire these things on my own.
Yeah, but this business, Sonia, is so dirty and dangerous. Not bad.
When are you going to take me with you? I want to be famous like you.
So they started off one evening under the veil of night. They crept through dark alleys while the villagers slept tight. For if they were caught, both knew well their outlook would be grim. Alexander was loathed for miles around. His reputation preceded him. And finally they cased one home, whose wealth was lavish and great. A mansion of elegant galas and grandeur. I give you
The Patel Estate, the crown jewel of this neighbourhood, owned by an old couple who, at this point, don't know their walker from their wheelchair.
Well, perhaps it's time for an early estate sale.
So like foxes they lurked quietly across the sleepy lawn, with hush and hasted hand, so they could beat the dawn. Coming upon the entrance with crowbars, they broke in, their minds made up and set upon obtaining that one token. Up the stairs they flew and entered the master's quarters, holding their breath, tiptoeing past the elderly snorers. With a flick and a click they entered with greedy hands that burned. Our daughter pulled out her handy picks to test what she had learned. Truthfully, that lock was no match for the young woman's skill, but the safe offered our apprentice thief a greater test of will. She dialed and dialed in his trial by fire, listening for all the clicks, till finally she came upon a combination that did the trick. And behold, she saw a jewelry box of ruby red display, and within it a radiant necklace that took her breath away. But then her father's smile twisted into a mischievous grin, because he knew the time had come for her true lesson to begin. Leaving the closet, he wedged a chair to put her in the way of harm, and did the worst thing while going out. He tripped the burglar alarm. And with that came a clamour that broke the midnight quiet. Dogs howled as Sonia struggled amidst the riot. The house woke up and waitstaff came out with lanterns in hand, giving Sonia but little time to hatch an impromptu plan. Breaking a vase upon the head of an unsuspecting maid, she stole her uniform and put it on, jacked it as an aid. The maids ran left, the butlers ran right, while clever Sonia was nowhere in sight. Biding her time, Sonia slipped out, a nimble little while. In time to find the satchel and necklace father had left for her. She tied some bedsheets to scale the house, a clever insurrection, but not before sending the entire staff
He went that way!
in the wrong direction. Sonia ran like hell, but what happened next is a genius little thing. She found a well and dropped a boulder, as if someone had fallen in. The staff came by to inspect, but she was already up a tree. When they left, she knew the heist was over, a quiet sort of glee. Rushing back to her quaint little cottage, she felt some consternation, and there at last she confronted her father for his rascally motivation.
Why did you do this? Why did you ditch me? Why did you lock me in a closet? Why did you trip the alarm?
I'm so glad you passed the test, love. Now I don't have to teach you anything. What lessons can I teach you now? Experience is the only teacher. You did something masterful. You escaped. I can now pronounce you the greatest thief. You may even surpass me one day. Maybe.
Yeah.
And so this ends the surprising tale of the thief and his daughter. Sonia wanted to learn to steal from her father, but in the end, experience was the one who taught her.
Why this thief story, and what do we learn from this? It conveys one special message to all of us. Not everything in life can be taught. Each problem will be unique, and there is no single formula to help us succeed in all situations. Preparations and learning make you competent, but to achieve true mastery, something really more is required. Such a great mastery requires great awareness, a 360-degree awareness. With awareness, you are creative. Awareness combined with a poised and a silent heart, mind that is alert, you can achieve a lot. And what is the secret of fostering such awareness, poised heart, still mind? It is what it has always been. Practice, practice, and practice of meditation. All the best. Earlier, we heard the Mahaslokas of Adi Shankaraji. How many of you understood them? Can you raise your hands? Very handful. Not going beyond my 2 hands. There is a small village in Kerala, God's own country, where generation after generation, they pass on the knowledge verbally. They recite some words, and exactly what their grandfather spoke, father speaks, grandchildren speaks. But no one understands the meaning of it. But thank God, they are keeping this tradition of passing on this verbal knowledge. One day, who knows, someone might decipher this language. Sanskrit slokas are becoming too foreign to this land, and that is very unfortunate. When you eat food, after partaking the food, we expect that it gets digested. Otherwise, you get diarrhea. Reciting slokas, you think you have done a great job, great work. Be careful. It will give you mental diarrhea. Undigested knowledge creates such a state of frustration, stress. Superficially, you will feel good that, oh, I recited some verses from Quran, recited some verses from Gita. If you don't understand them, it is as bad as partaking of food that you could not digest. So beware. I don't say don't learn. Learn. Try and understand. And having understood, reflect, digest, and make it part of your life. Earlier I shared with you to experiment. I had experimented this meditation and allowed many students experiment it with various methods of meditations. And especially at Drexel University in Philadelphia, we conducted a 3-month-old program where we had the batches of students meditating, one batch of students meditating Method A, method B, method C, method D, like that. And we make students meditate for 1 week, make them write the experience. Then we exchange the methods, change the method and say, okay, now you meditate with this. So almost half a dozen methods were tried out, including the heartfulness. But heartfulness meditation without the energy that I was talking to you about, called pranahuti, transmission, it cannot fly you into a state of superconsciousness. It is only through this pranahuti that one gets transported, fueled into this vehicle, the process of dhyana, and put us into a state of superconsciousness. And that has to be instantaneous, not later on. So I welcome all. You try this at least once in your lifetime. If you like it, practice it. If you don't like it, drop it. There are no charges anyway. There is an app called Heartfulness app. You can experiment with this meditation in the privacy of your own home. No religion is attached to it because you are meditating on whichever God you like to meditate or no God. Whether you are a believer or no believer, it is for all. So my humble request to you all to download this app called Heartfulness app and try it out. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm very grateful to George, especially from Zaid Foundation, and Sir Anand and Jacob ji, to make this possibility of interacting together and take it forward. We learn from you and you learn from us, and this is how this mutual partnership can grow. Looking forward to such a growth with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. I now request our Managing Trustee, Shri K. Anand, to honor our Chief Guest, Sri Daaji, as a token of our love and respect. So please. Now I request our Managing Trustee to honor His Excellency Dr. Muhammad A. bin Fahad as a token of our love and gratitude. Now I request Sir to kindly honor Professor Seamus Otoma as a token of our gratitude. I also request our Managing Trustee to honor Professor Prasad Krishna.
I request all the dignitaries to raise and hold the book for a group photo. I request all the dignitaries on the stage to raise and hold the book for a group photo.
Now, Syed Foundation is honored to give a memento to Anand sir. I request Anand sir to kindly receive the same on behalf of the Syed Foundation. Thank you everyone for being part of this wonderful inaugural event. We are truly grateful for your presence and participation. Thank you all.